Hello, everybody. This is episode 3 of Coolin with Colin. I'm Colin. Today I have Ariel as my guest.
Hello.
We're going to be talking about her life and her music life and everything that is in the between areas. Today's sponsor is Kenter Canyon Farms. We have some lettuce and some bread, and Ariel will be taking it home with her after the interview if she wants.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah.
Definitely want to.
How's it going?
Good.
Okay. Oh, shit. So I just wanted to ask, because I really don't know much about you. Mm-hmm. We've met, small talked, but I've never gotten into a deep conversation. So where did you grow up? That's our first question.
Okay.
Yeah, ends there.
I grew up in Los Angeles, California.
Okay.
Specifically the Valley.
Nice.
Great Whitney, forever. I went to high school at Champs, which is in like the middle of Van Nuys.
Yeah.
It used to be like a weird art school in the back of a Korean church in the middle of Van Nuys, but now I think they have like more buildings. And
Yeah,
stuff.
now it's like a big off. We get hit up to play there a lot because
Champs?
They like us for some reason.
What?
Yeah.
They have like high school show. What do you mean?
Yeah, so like they have they have.
Please tell. Why haven't they asked me?
I don't know. That's kind of fucked up.
Alumni.
But they have like these parking lot festivals, and we played like their first one. It was like last year.
Field Day.
No,
Oh,
it's called Pack Fest.
Oh, must be
Wait,
new.
that was called Pack Fest? I think so. Yeah. So the first one we played with, like, I think it was actually a pretty crazy lineup. It was like us, Bane's World, and the Grins, I think.
Okay.
And then we played again this year. And Good Boy. And
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then we played again this year. We weren't going to, and then they were like, please, like, can you guys play? And we're like, yeah, we'll play. So we did. We were like, there were only a few bands on it, though, this year. But
Well,
yeah, so it was
that's where I
funny.
went to high school.
Yeah,
so.
little Champs connection.
Yeah, Valley kid forever.
When did you start, like, making music?
I started writing my own music when I was 14 years old. I grew up doing musical theater. I was like a huge theater nerd.
Okay, you can kind of tell in the voice because you could tell there is some, like, somebody taught you how to sing. Or no?
No. That's really nice of you, though,
yeah.
I think.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, no, I've actually never had, like, I've never had, like, vocal training.
Okay, I
like
totally thought you were trained. I was like,
Oh.
Ariel knows how to sing.
No, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah,
But
I think it's like, the way you switch from falsetto to regular voice is so fucking smooth that I was like, she had to have
Thank you.
been taught.
That comes from, especially like the lower register
Yeah.
thing. I really was inspired forever. I mean, now and when I was younger by like Frank Sinatra and
Frankie Sins.
and Robert Smith. I think I really idolize a lot of male vocalists.
Oh, interesting.
So I think that's where
Singing along with them, and they're just automatically
and
in
that
the
deep register and
Yeah.
that whole like 80s like whoa thing. You know?
Yeah, so okay,
into
it's funny
that.
that you bring up the 80s because like your music, when I was listening to it, I'm like, okay, an Ariel song is like a huge chorus, powerful downstroke guitars, some synth, and like just a dance groove over everything.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of what
can
I
dig
came
that.
to.
Hell yeah,
And
that
I was
sounds
like, where did that stem from? Like, was it an idea that you had, like, this is how my music is going to sound? Because it's all very cohesive.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, how it actually started was when I first started writing music, I actually started on the ukulele, which is like total opposite to everything you just said.
Right.
That's where I write everything. So like all of the chord, like the initial skeleton of the song, obviously, like it changes. But the initial chords and everything I write on ukulele, like mostly. And then I take them to my synth player and like one of my best friends, Danny. And then he kind of helps me flesh them out with more of my influences, which are like 80s inspired.
Yeah, that's amazing. I was gonna ask like how, so being like would you consider yourself like a solo artist?
Yes.
Yeah, so you're making all your music yourself and then you're like, okay, this is my song, I'm gonna bring it to somebody to kind of maybe beef it up a little bit and like add stuff.
Well, I write everything myself, like the, like I said, like the skeleton of the song, and then I take it to Danny, and I have those ideas in my head. Like when I write, that's what I was trying to say. Like the whole 80s and that whole thing came from whenever I'd write. Even though I was writing on ukulele, I still had all those ideas. Like I want this part to be a synth. I want this part to be a guitar.
You kind of had the orchestra in your head.
Yeah, I just didn't have the means to do that because I don't
Right.
play those instruments. So when I write with Danny, I take to him the chords I already wrote,
Yeah.
and then he'll be like, all right, like let's try out some different sounds until we both feel that that's where the song belongs.
Yeah, that's cool. So it's been like a little over a year since your self-titled EP came out. Were those songs that you'd been working on over the years, and then you're like, okay, compile these, put them out as one thing, and they're out on Young Writers Records?
Yeah.
What happened with that?
So the EP is a combination of songs that I wrote. I took like years to write it. I wrote it from in New York, LA, London, and Stockholm.
Interesting.
Basically, my manager sent me, very shortly after I signed with him, he sent me to London and Stockholm to do a bunch of writing sessions. Because I had only come, like when he signed me, I did only write everything on the ukulele.
Yeah,
I explained to him, I was like, my influences are like Blondie, New Order, The Cure, like these bands that have nothing to do with the ukulele. That's just what I write. So I needed people to kind of put the pieces together with me and have like listen to my ideas and kind of help me make them into fruition. Come to fruition, whatever
the fuck it is.
So I did a bunch of writing sessions kind of all over, and then when it came time to do the EP, I went through basically a collection of like 50 songs.
Whoa, amazing.
Yeah, and I chose, so I have a lot more already recorded.
Yeah, so you're kind of like, let's release some more shit.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, please let me put out my record.
So I mean, I like watching interviews. I think that's kind of what made me want to do interviews. And there was one and I love Oasis, and they were just talking. It's like, if it doesn't work as a good song on acoustic guitar and just singing, then like.
I've always believed that, especially when it comes to like, I think there are so many songs that are a little overproduced and they kind of lose. For me in writing, the most important thing is the lyrics, and because that's what I started. And actually, you asked me way back. I don't think I actually answered it, but why I started writing or how I started writing.
How did it happen?
I started in musical theater, and then I kind of realized that my favorite part about musical theater was the music. And then alongside of that, I
just kind of telling a story through the songs.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Like that was like the performance part of it.
You know?
And then when I was 14, I'd learned like a few guitar chords.
Yeah.
And I'd always been doing writing. Poetry is where I really
started
from. And I was kind of like, oh, what would happen if I kind of put these two things together? So for me in music, like the writing is. The message of the story is the most important, and I find that if you have it overproduced, you really lose that. I think your music is kind of coming from like a more natural place. It sounds like you were interested in learning chords and interested in writing songs and poems. It's like when it comes together like that, you can kind of have that feeling of like, all right, this song has a purpose, and it's putting the words and the music are supposed to be like together. Yeah, I think that for me, I feel that the emotion of the music, like the instrumentation, should reflect the emotion of the vocal. And I think also that's why I really was obsessed with vocalists like Robert Smith and Frank Sinatra, because they, to me, are so emotive. Like their songs are so emotional, and that's like a huge thing that I'm trying to convey in my music.
Yeah, I think I recently, like in the past year, have just been writing like a lot of songs myself, and I didn't necessarily know too many chords, but then one of my friends was like, yeah, if you're gonna sing a sad song, whatever, your music has to have that thing to back it up, because then it just won't be believed. And
that being said, though, I also love, like, part of the reason I love the ukulele, like when I first started, was because I love the idea of having a composition of music that's like really happy, and then like lyrics that are just super dark and fucked up. I think that The Cure for me is like the epitome of that, of where you have like Robert Smith singing and everyone's dancing, and then you realize that he's like really fucking depressed, and you're really like dancing like to his tears, you know? And I love that idea. So, but still, that the like waves of emotion should reflect in the music. But
I mean, like not always. There's not rules to anything.
Yeah, there are rules. Just kidding.
I wanted to talk about a song on your EP, "Awake All Night." I was actually really into that fucking song, and I was like, I just love your like stupid boy. Like it was just like you're. if it was like a third person, like, dude, you fucked up and like you lost this chick, because like there's so many songs that's like from a dude's perspective that's like, oh, I lost her, or like a girl that's like, oh, he left me or whatever, but then it's like somebody else that's like, dude, you fucked up. Like,
that's so interesting that I mean, beauty of music is that everyone has like their different of what they see it as.
Yeah.
I actually wrote that song after two guys. I wrote that song after. Yeah, I wrote that song after two guys had ghosted me like consecutively.
Oh,
like I was like seeing this guy, and then he ghosted me, and then I was seeing the next guy after him, and then he ghosted me.
Yeah.
Which really doesn't look so good on my part.
It's okay.
I didn't do anything, but basically I wrote this song, and I was coming from a place of like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
Screw you.
Yeah.
And like, why does this keep happening to me? And I wanted to come at it from the perspective of like, well, one day I'm gonna be fucking over it. I wasn't at the time though. When I wrote it, I was like so sad and felt so defeated. But I wanted to write a song for myself, like in the aftermath, that I would listen to and be like, yeah, fuck you, like, stupid boy, like you lost out. And side note, both those boys came back. So.
Hey.
Stupid boy.
Stupid boys.
But yeah, that was. It was actually me kind of talking to myself as.
I love that.
Thinking.
I love that.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to do that, like convincing yourself
Maybe
that.
I wrote it into like.
Yeah. Fruition again.
Fruition. I was gonna say that, but I was like, I don't want to say fruition again.
No, that's I like that one a lot.
So I'm glad you like that.
That one was cool.
I like that one. That's actually, I open like every show with that.
Yeah.
Because I have so much fucking fun performing it, because we really punk it up when we play it.
Yeah.
In the recording, like I sing the whole time, but in live I scream a lot.
Yeah. That's a good one though.
It's a
especially when you're saying fucking stupid boy, like that's good.
Yeah, thanks.
Let's talk about live performances, because I've seen you, and the reason why I wanted to interview, because I was like, you are good live. And I feel like I'm giving you all these compliments, but like it's just true. So your live show, what's your configuration? Like who do you bring on stage? We can talk about like sets, how you set up your set list, whatever. Mm-hmm. Whatever secrets you want to give out.
Ooh. Well, I'm pretty much an open book. I don't really have a lot of secrets, but it's me on vocals.
Yeah,
and
makes
then
sense.
I have I'm singing, and then I have Dan C. Wright on synth, and he's also in a band called 3D Friends.
Wow.
And he's the one that I co-write a lot of the songs with.
Nice.
And then I have Daz Cordell. All my bandmates have really good names.
Yeah, Dan C. Wright.
Dan C. Wright.
And
then
Daz.
I have Daz on guitar.
Cool.
Julian Harmon on drums. He's amazing. Everyone, my whole band is like, they're just
tight,
just good
for
guys.
sure.
And then I have Anthony Whitlocks on bass.
Cool.
So I try to keep them the same. I have a few guys that like because a lot of them are in other bands as well.
Yeah.
As it goes in LA. So I have a few guys that I'll call like if one of them can't make it. But those are the team that I bring on to most shows. Where
did you meet them? Because it's funny, like I feel like I know a bunch of musicians, but then when you are like, hey, I need this person to perform with me, it's like, where the fuck did everybody go?
I wanted to play live, like, because I was recording the EP for so long.
Yeah.
Like, the songs for so long, I hadn't even put them out, so they were just for me.
Yeah.
So I just, like, dreamed of performing them.
Yeah.
And the hardest thing was, like, well, I need a band.
Totally.
I knew, even though I'm a solo artist, I knew I wanted it to be a band. I knew I wanted, like, that live element instead of me just singing over a track, which I can do and I have done, but it was. It's
really not the same feeling though, like at all.
It was just really important for me too, like because of those influence that was a bit. I wanted kind of the same setup.
Yeah.
I met them all different ways. Danny, I met actually when we were both doing background work on a TV show.
Oh shit.
We played like drug addicts on the show Legion. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I don't know. Don't really watch TV too much.
Oh, hip guy. So I met him there, and we were just kind of, I don't know, in background work, you just like sit for hours and hours.
Just talking and
stuff. So we were just talking all day and talking about music. And when I was putting the band together, like a couple months later after that, I texted him and I was like, hey, like I met you this one time. Do you want to jam?
Yeah.
And then we just ended up working super well together.
That's cool.
Julian's been a friend of mine he plays drums, been a friend of mine for a super long time. amazing. Like I've seen all of his shows. Like
Yeah.
he's amazing. And so when it came time, I was like, please play for me. Let's see who else. Daz, I met just like in LA. Like through mutual friends. He is like the manager at El Condor. It's another bar. And I go there a lot, and he's an amazing guitarist.
Okay.
Yes, and Anthony, I think. I don't even know how I met Anthony.
Just met him.
Anthony. As it goes.
He appeared.
But yeah, but I remember when I was putting together the band, like I wanted to play live shows so badly. Like that was really important, but it just kind of all fell together. Yeah.
Where did you first play? Like your first show?
Our first show was at the Satellite.
Oh, I actually just went there for
like
the. Really?
Ago, exactly.
Like pretty much right when the EP came out.
Yeah.
Or like a little bit after.
After, yeah. It was because I put the EP out and then I didn't get to play for a while because I was figuring out how to put the band together and all that. Yeah.
How did it initially, like, how was it received when you first put it out? Like it kind of was out of nowhere and then boom, your EP's out and people are listening, or it took a while?
I put out, so I did a feature for this like EDM duo called Love Thy Brother.
And you did a music video for it?
Yes,
yeah,
I did.
We'll talk about that in a second. Because if you haven't seen this music video, I'll put a link to it, and it's fucking crazy, and I love it. So
it's me like murdering a bunch of boys.
Yeah.
It's so weird. I never do that. But yeah, so I wrote Love Me Better for them originally.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Cool.
They had sent me a track, and I kind of like made it, just wrote the top line to it over like a year and a half, and then I put that out, and they had a good following within that world.
Yeah.
Like the whole like EDM. I didn't know like anything about that.
Not too familiar
either. But it got me kind of just like a platform just for when I put my own music out there, because I had nothing already, and then I wrote that song, and I didn't even intend to be the featured vocal on it at first. Like at first I was like, oh, this is my first time writing for another artist.
Oh, you thought it was gonna be like you were just like the writer and somebody's taking it.
And I was like really excited about that.
Cool.
Yeah, but then when I sent in the demo, they were like, oh, we love how you sing it. Can you sing it? And I was like, okay.
Yeah, fuck
sure. So I put that out, and then I guess that kind of gave me like a platform that people started listening to who the singer of that thing, and I also wrote it,
Yeah. And it shows up on your Spotify page probably.
Yeah. And then I put out Slower Than Usual, which was my first single that was like just as me.
Yeah.
And I think that got traction because I had a lot of playlisting from the other songs. So
yeah.
It really helped me out.
In my notes I have heavy bass synth, catchy as fuck, huge pre-chorus and chorus.
Sick.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's kind of how when I was listening to this as well.
That was the first song that I wrote it in Stockholm. And as soon as I wrote it, I was like, that's my first single. Like it was the first, because I feel like I did so many co-writes. I was really trying to figure out. I had my sound in my head.
Yeah.
Like I knew what I wanted to be, but every writing, like it just nothing was fully clicking. Like it either was like too electronic where it didn't have any like live element to it, or like they're trying to make me like kind of Lord-ish, or
okay,
like
I could totally see how they would probably
or
take
like,
it that way.
Nobody was like fully understanding what I wanted, and then when I wrote Slower Than Usual, I really felt like it was the first time I wrote a song where you could hear my influences, but it still sounded like me, like something new, because especially when you're dealing with influences like from the 80s, in my opinion, I think it's really possible to just recreate like a replica, something that's already been done. And I myself did that. Sorry, I'm like sliding all over the place. I myself did that. I felt like I was just recreating my favorite music. Yeah. And then when I wrote Slower Than Usual, I was like, okay, like I fucking love this song, but it's me.
Who's somebody that people tell you sound like that you're like, I hate when you tell me that? Because there's people for us that were just like,
fuck you.
I don't like 311, so stop saying that.
Oh no.
No, I don't know. Did we get that one? We've gotten on before.
I've gotten Marina and the Diamonds a lot. Mm-hmm. I don't know her music, so I can't attest to that. I've gotten Lana Del Rey a lot. Yeah. But I don't hate that. Yeah. Like, because she's awesome.
She is.
That's kind of what I was. On the lower, like. Yeah. Sultry. Parts of my songs.
There you go. Hey, not a horrible person to meet.
Yeah. When people say they're like, it's very like Lana mixed with the 80s, which I'm like, cool. Like.
Yeah. That works.
I haven't heard that before.
I want to talk about some lyrics because you said that you were really into writing lyrics.
And my words are my babies.
Yeah, so on mine, I like the where it's like smoke leaves her lips as she drags in her nails, scratch her tattoo. I love imagery. I love when a song brings you to the place and you're listening to it and you're just like, I'm envisioning this girl smoking her cigarette and scratching me on my arm where my tattoo is. Yeah. That's like my favorite shit in songs, and I think it's so powerful but so small. You could just put a word in front of another word that will just bring somebody to a place. When you're writing lyrics, obviously that's something you focus on, but is there anything else where you're like, this is the thing that helps my writing become really powerful?
So honestly, for me, writing is a very diary-based thing. Okay. It's funny that you bring up that song. That song, the day I wrote that, I was like a fucking psycho. I'd just been, basically what the song is about is I got back together with my boyfriend at the time and he had slept with someone in between. Yeah,
it's about a new lover's ex.
Yeah. So he had slept with someone while we were broken up, and then when we got back together, it wasn't his fault, but I couldn't stop imagining him with her. Yeah. And it was really difficult because I wasn't mad at him, but I just every time I saw her, all I would see is them sleeping together.
Yeah, I think that's a line in the song.
Yeah, that's the entire song is about that. And so the day that I was writing that song, I basically went into the studio and was like, I need to get this out because I don't want to feel crazy anymore, and I don't want to be a crazy girlfriend that every time I see this girl I'm triggered. I want to just let it go. So for me, I think that writing is honestly super therapeutic because as soon as I wrote that song, I was honest to God, I was I'm done. That girl, because also I don't want to hate that girl. It's not her fault. She's whatever. But so after I wrote that, every time I saw her again, I was over it because
it's funny how that shit happens.
Worked it out.
Yeah.
But that imagery, that really was everything that was going on in my head. I think it's a really universal feeling that when you get back with somebody or you get with a person for the first time, you know their ex or whatever, you imagined it, and it can be traumatizing.
And I liked it's funny that you were talking about how it really got you to relinquish this feeling that you had. I had this note where it was it's reassuring a self-confidence. It's the line, I'm the one you want between your sheets. It's I can picture you fucking this girl, but at the end of the day, we're together.
And that's what I was trying to teach almost myself. Hey, yes, it happened. Yes, that drives you nuts. And yes, it's okay that you can't stop thinking about it. Yeah. But in the end, he loves you and you're okay.
Right, yeah.
And that was the reality. I just needed to work out the reality in my head, beforehand. So
you got some good messages in your song.
Yeah.
And I think for anybody that's trying to dance, but then also trying to get over some shit, put on some air.
I want it to just be I want when people hear my music to have this sense of oh fuck, I felt that too.
Yeah,
because I feel all of the records that I listened to growing up, that's what I was looking for.
And there's longevity in that, because if you associate an emotion and a time in your life with the song, you're going to put it on in a year, in 2 years, in 10 years and be damn, that's exactly how I felt.
Yeah.
And if you can write stuff that's true to yourself but also be more kind of universal, then it's so many people can just use that. If I can write a song and somebody comes up to me that's that helped me get through this thing, it's just fuck dude, that's crazy because I wrote that
that's
sitting.
All you're looking for. It's funny that you say that too, because mine actually is a song that I think I get a lot where girls will come up to me and be thank you so much for writing that, it helped me get through this breakup, blah blah. And it's so beautiful to me because actually when you brought it up, I got kind of anxious because it was such a hard song for me to write, and because I hated the emotion that I myself was in. I still can perform that song, but it was a difficult time for me. So to hear how my kind of anguish helped somebody is really fucking rad.
Yeah, it totally is, and it's I don't know if we as humans look over shit like that, but it's that's really important because people need something to kind of let go and allow themselves to get into in their room by themselves with headphones on, that the next day they can wake up and continue doing shit.
Yeah, and also just like having a connection of knowing that you're not alone.
Yeah,
you know? I think
somebody out there feels the way you do.
Yeah, I think that that's the most important thing, and not just for like as an audience member, like that's what I'm looking for when I am hearing music, but also like as a performer, I think the time that I feel less alone, or like the only time I feel less alone is when I'm on stage performing, because I can see that connectivity with people.
So let's bring it back to the performance. I want to know like how I choose what songs I'm going to play. Mm-hmm. How do you, in what order? Is there a way you do it?
I thought the first time I did a set list, I only recently started changing the set list around. Like our first like bunch of shows, I just did the same set list every time. Yeah. And I didn't really think about it, but only recently have I been like, oh, like I should switch it up, because now people are going to all the shows. I feel like they know what song's coming next. Yeah. And I don't like that. So I just recently started like switching it up. But when I originally did it, I guess I just did it like on a record, what I would want.
Oh, okay.
So like what the flow of each song going into each other. And also depending on the night, like, am I feeling extra angry? Like, I'll play this one. Like,
or like to the crowd sometimes, like, it might be a more rowdy crowd, so I'm gonna play like these songs or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of how we do it. We have done albums where it's like, this would be a set list, and this is how we would play the.
Yeah, I feel like when my album isn't out, but when it comes time to put it out, I think that the set list will be very like. The set list will be
to the album.
Like,
But it's also cool because if you have like a release show or something and somebody just listens to the album, then they're like, oh my god, she's just playing the fucking album like top to bottom. Like that's pretty cool.
And that pretty much is what I do. I mean, when I play, I don't have like a ton of music out, you know? So when I play shows, like I'm pretty much playing the EP plus like the 2 singles I just put out, plus like maybe one I've written that I haven't shown anyone, you know, or like I'll write a song and come to my band and be like, hey, like I just wrote this yesterday, I want to play it for the show. I've done that to them a few times.
Really?
Yeah.
That's something I've like always wanted to do, because it's like if you
the best.
You could also like learn from how you just play. Maybe you'll find another part that you're like, oh shit, like that was actually really cool what you just did, like let's do that.
Totally. Well, that's the beauty of having like a fucking band of best friends.
Yeah, that's true. I'm going to flip this page and got a few more things to talk about. I wanted to talk about your music video, Love Me Better. Starts out real innocent and then goes not very innocent. Yeah. Who thought of that?
So I would love to take credit for that, but it actually was not me. It was the director of the video.
Yeah.
So as I said, that group, Love Thy Brother, they had a label in San Francisco, and so that was the other beauty of putting that song out, is that I got all this funding from a label, even though I wasn't with anyone. Like I was totally independent. So the director of the video came up with that, and we filmed it in Canada.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
Yeah. So the 2 guys, they're Canadian, and we filmed it like 30 minutes outside of Montreal, which like was these enormous Victorian like spooky looking houses. And when he told me the concept for the video, I at first I was like, what? Because it just like in my mind when I wrote the song, I envisioned like probably what the video would be with that song, and it was just so wildly outside of that. But
totally.
But that's what I loved about it, and I did love getting to play a character, an intense character.
Yeah,
in that,
I'm sure that was fun, because like
it was fun as hell.
Yeah. And then in the end, she's just like covered in blood and in the woods, and like.
And I have like this girl, you like can't tell if she's like
your twin
my like lesbian lover, my like.
It's pretty wild. Yeah, you're gonna have to watch this video, because I listened to all your music on Spotify, and then I was like, all right, I gotta watch like her music videos, and then I was like not expecting that, and it starts out like so innocent, and you're just like sitting in your like huge house and like smoking weed and shit, and then it's like, whoa, that shit took a turn. So I was very like surprised.
It was really fun. I love doing things that are outside of my world, you know, so that was really fun.
Which makes it interesting.
Which, like, being a murderer, like, is not that outside of my world, but, you
know. I hope so. The slower than usual music video.
Yeah.
That one is, like, so 80s. It's crazy.
I directed that with my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that one was, like, I wanted to pay homage to everything that I'm inspired by. And I love 80s music videos. Like, I live for them. I think they're so funny.
Okay, so there was a little bit of humor in it, right?
No, it's supposed to be like kind of like kitschy, and like it's supposed to be like a performance, but also just like, why is she singing in a mirror with 3 versions? Like, it's supposed to be like, why
exactly,
is that
yeah.
No, very, almost like a little Lynchian. Like a little bit like, that's cool, don't know why it's happening, but like that's still cool to look at.
I just thought it was funny because you're in this massive warehouse and you're playing, but nobody's plugged into anything.
Yeah, I did that.
And I'm like, okay.
If you look at the 80s music videos, they don't plug into anything. It's so funny.
So from that, I was like, okay, this is like a...
Yeah, when I wrote the treatment, I like referenced a lot. Like I went through a bunch of like old.
Do you have any like favorite music videos?
Yes, my favorite music video is, well, I have a lot, but the one that always comes to mind, which is I got really inspired for the Slower Than Usual video, was Flock of Seagulls, I Ran.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever seen it?
I feel like I used to watch like VH1 countdowns all the time as a kid.
Why don't they have that anymore? Anyway, so...
I don't know. Those were the best, like, one-hit wonders, 90, like, so good.
Yeah. TV Man.
Was it Brett Michaels?
That's different. The Rock of Love, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
It's like a reality show.
But Flock of Seagulls, it's like the band is in this room of mirrors.
Yeah.
And they're rotating and they're playing all their instruments, none of which are like plugged in.
Right.
Like they're just all playing. There's just in this band of mirrors, and then they have these 2 women like walking around the room, like full 80s makeup, like all like leather, crazy, and they are dressed the same, like twins, and they're just like walking towards the guy, like really ominously, and he'll be like singing, but like nothing's actually happening, you know.
Yeah.
And I love that video because the whole time you're just like,
what is
this? Yeah, but it's so cool. And just visually too, like I live for like a John Hughes film. Like my whole life, it was like my dream to be in a John Hughes film, and so I wanted to have a lot of those elements too, like the car, and like I wanted a vintage car, and
I was watching, I was like, okay, this is a lot different from the other one, but it's supposed to be, and
I
this
also really wanted it to be like I wanted the performance. Have you seen Heart of Glass by Blondie, that video?
Maybe.
That's another one where like they're just like performing in an open room, like there's no one there, like they're like playing with like phone cords, like phone key, like it just doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
But it's about like the performance and
yeah,
it was supposed to be different
I like
than
those.
the serial killer one.
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely different. I got a couple more questions. Do you have a favorite place your music has been? Like, has it been in a show or like on a video or like, I don't know, some place that you were like, whoa, that's fucking cool.
The CW has played a lot of my songs on their like teen soap operas,
really?
which has been pretty cool. I love, like, I'm really inspired by cinematic music and like film scores. I've always wanted to be on a soundtrack to a film. So when CW started using my stuff, I got really excited. Not necessarily like, I don't watch a lot of the CW shows, but just the idea that my music would be creating the vibe around the scene was really cool.
Amazing.
In my 1 year of college, I took a music and film class.
Where'd you go?
The New School.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. It's like with Parsons and Eugene Lang, and I was a poetry major.
In Lang.
In Lang, hence why I'm not in school anymore. What was I doing?
She graduated as a poet.
I have a degree in poetry.
Doesn't your dad?
What?
Oh, for sure.
Your dad teach poetry?
No, he is a poet. His dad's a poet.
Oh.
Yeah, Stevie G.
That's pretty cool. I'll have to check him out. But I took this music and film class, and it really talked about how, obviously, like, you don't realize when you're watching a film that the music is kind of making you feel
totally.
We watched Casablanca, and we watched it with music and then without music, and it was just really fascinating, like totally different movies. And so I've always wanted to be the person.
Look up Jaws without the music.
Yeah,
it's not scary. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's crazy. I love that though. Like, I love that. I love the idea that it's something that's not even in your direct mind. Like you're just hearing it, but you don't realize how much it's evoking things. So that was cool when I got synced for CW. I haven't gotten a ton of stuff because I just started really putting out.
Yeah,
I will.
That's cool though, to even have your stuff be considered to like you said, evoke an emotion is like, I think it shows with the songwriting and just how powerful something can be. Do you have a favorite show you've played?
Dang.
That one's kind of hard. I don't know. But that's why it's like the last question.
Damn. My favorite, okay. I feel like every show.
I have one question after that too.
Okay. I'm like, damn, it's over already? That'll be fun. One show that we recently played, I think was my favorite show so far, but just because of what it kind of stands for to me. A couple of months ago when the abortion bans came to light, I put together a benefit for the ACLU at the Echo. I was like fucking infuriated with all this anger, and I didn't want to just, like, it's great to donate obviously, but I didn't want to just donate. Like, I wanted to feel like I was actively doing something.
Totally.
And as we've talked about, I think music is such a great way to bring people together in a space. So I came with the idea to do the benefit of all female-fronted bands.
Nice.
And obviously the ACLU is focusing on so many things, but this was the abortion ban specific. Obviously there's a lot of fucked up shit going on right now that they have to worry about. But so there's that, and then we had some female vendors come and sell their designs. And we actually got the ACLU of Southern California on board, and they came and spoke, which I was like really, really nerding out about.
And this is you like made all this shit happen.
Yeah, so I came up with the idea literally out of like anger. Like, like, what can I do? And then I reached out to the Echo and I said, do you want to be my venue partner in this? And then we pulled together the bands from there, and then I reached out to some friends who are amazing designers. Yeah. And then I researched the ACLU and got a meeting with them and made it happen. Yeah. And so that was my favorite show. We raised like almost $3,000 on a Tuesday night at 11 p.m. Like super, like, you know, like I was really, really proud of that show.
Yeah,
because,
totally.
It was something that I full-heartedly really believe in. So after that show, I don't even remember performing because I was so like fucking everything. I felt like I had to be in charge of everything. Like, I'd never put on an event together. I'd never done anything like that before. So I think I was really stressed. But then after I did it, like when I drove home, I just broke down like hysterically sobbing. Like, I was crying, but like happy. I was really happy. But I think it was just such an emotional experience.
Right. All this stuff built up, and then
something
you're just
that the cause like is such an emotional thing in itself, and just seeing all the people that could come together. Yeah. Friends and family, like everyone made it happen. Like, I had a female graphic designer do the posters. Like, I had friends come in and help me put them all over LA. Like, it was just a really like beautiful experience as a person in my community as well. So that was my favorite show so far. Yeah. But that's hard because whatever.
It is a hard question. Yeah, it's a hard question. Okay, so I remember seeing some shit like a while ago. Like, Fergie posted you playing.
For what?
Fergie.
Oh, Fergie.
What was that? Because we're huge Fergie fans.
Fergie's the shit. Yeah. She's pretty cool. You know, she does like backflips on stage.
I'm a big Fergie fan.
Yeah.
London Bridge, you put that on at any party, it's over.
It's a hit.
I swear. Try it. Alex.
That was really fucking crazy. I played, there's this brand called Libertine. And they did a fashion show. They have their fashion show usually every year in New York, but they decided to do it in LA this year, as like a lot of the brands are. And I was playing, and there like Marilyn Manson was there.
Whoa!
And, I was like playing, and I knew that Fergie was like at the event. But
she was in the house, but you didn't know. That's
I'm like
crazy.
Playing, and I'm singing whatever, and I look, and she's front row, like dancing, like going crazy. And afterwards, I
crazy.
Full on dancing, and I was playing "Love Me Better," and she was like screaming, like catching up on the lyrics. And then afterwards, I said it in the microphone. I was like, "What the fuck? Like, fucking Fergie's watching me play right now." And she literally screamed. She goes, "Love me better!" Like, "Love me better!" And I was
full on fan.
Yeah. And then the next day, she like posted me all over her Instagram. She like went on Spotify and was like posting songs that I didn't even play at that show. Like, I like did like
She's a fan. Wow.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
I was super stoked on that.
I would be so fucking stoked.
Fergie.
Yeah. We
I'll like give her your name or whatever.
yeah, let her know.
Homies know.
We played in New York one time, and apparently Debbie Harry was in the room.
Shut up.
Apparently.
Don't say that to me.
But she wasn't going crazy like Fergie, so like that story's like not even.
I've met her before.
She left, yeah.
Oh. Well, it's still cool.
Everyone was like freaking out after we played, and we're like, oh man, we did a good job. And they're like, dude, fucking Blondie was here. Did you see her?
And like,
she was watching your set.
Dude, that's so sick.
Yeah, it was cool.
She's everything.
But Fergie going crazy is pretty tight.
I mean, Fergie's a close second.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, obviously didn't care too.
Yeah, she didn't really give a fuck. But, okay, so this has been the 3rd episode of Cooling with Colin with the wonderful Ariel. I appreciate you for coming.
Thank you for having me and for my bread
Yeah,
and lettuce.
thank you, Kentra Canyon Farms,
Thank
Other
you.
People's Children, Child Support Studios, Alex. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Bye.